focused on doing. It's just part of it. You know, there's entertainers and there's competitors. And I totally understand that. And my job is to compete. And that's what I'm focused on doing.
I think he was taking a shot at Shedeur.
You think so?
When have we ever thought about the media, those beat writers as entertainers? We've heard his coach, he was on the team when he said they're celebs.
Wait, but you can't tie him in this.
And he knows what follows Shedeur. Look, it can't be easy being in camp with Shedeur Sanders, right? But you can't be sitting here trolling your fellow rookie, because that's what it sounded like.
Dillon Gabriel's recent comments about Shedeur Sanders have shaken the NFL world in ways no one saw coming. What started off as a simple comparison quickly spiraled into one of the most controversial statements of the entire season. Gabriel didn't just acknowledge Sanders as a fellow player, he dismissed him, calling Sanders more of an entertainer than a true competitor. He even doubled down, drawing a line between himself and Sanders by claiming that he's the real competitor, while Shedeur is only putting on a show for the cameras. But here's the twist. This jab might have set Gabriel up for backlash he never anticipated. The question now is, did Gabriel just underestimate the storm he's walking into? And could this one statement end up defining the rest of his season?
Told you, when you guys do this type of stuff, it's going to come back to bite you in the butt. It's going to come back and cost you, because people are going to ask you questions. This is the reason I had to start going to practice.
Dillon Gabriel's remark about Shedeur Sanders has unleashed a storm of criticism, with fans, analysts, and even players questioning whether there's more behind his words than just a slip-up. Was it a careless jab, or is there a deeper rivalry brewing beneath the surface? The debate has taken off, and as G. Bush pointed out, Gabriel should have known better. When you throw out comments like that, you'd better be ready for the questions that follow. Now the focus shifts to how this could impact his team moving forward. Will his words stir up friction inside the locker room, or will they light a fire under Sanders to silence every doubter? Bush didn't pull any punches in his response, especially since Gabriel has long been praised for his razor-sharp decision-making on the field. His ability to process plays at lightning speed has often been compared to something out of science fiction, Skynet-like, as some put it. The quarterback has even earned comparisons to the Terminator for the way he handles pressure. But in this situation, Gabriel's quick-thinking reputation seems to have backfired. Instead of keeping the spotlight on his own performance, he's managed to put himself in direct conflict with Sanders' massive fan base. And according to Bush, that's a battle Gabriel never needed to start.
He's now capable of sending Terminators backwards and forward through time, waging a war.
Sharp didn't hold back in his response either. He dismissed the notion that Dillon Gabriel's comments were being misinterpreted, arguing that too many people are bending over backwards to defend him by spinning the narrative. In Sharp's eyes, Gabriel's words were deliberate, and no amount of backtracking or damage control can erase that fact. To underscore his point, Sharp drew a parallel to a nearly identical situation from last season, when Oregon's head coach took a public swipe at Colorado with eerily similar language, and once again, the comments were aimed squarely at Shedeur Sanders. The kicker? At that very moment, Dillon Gabriel was Oregon's quarterback, positioned right in the middle of the controversy.
Are the entertainers and a competitor, and he's a competitor, and he wasn't taking a shot at Shedeur, but the damage was done. Everybody knows what he meant by that, because you know why? And I'm gonna let you take off. You remember at Oregon, what the head coach said when they played Colorado?
Right.
Who was the quarterback?
Yeah.
Who was the quarterback?
Okay.
To Sharp, this isn't just some random coincidence. It's a recurring theme. He pointed out that Dillon Gabriel always seems to find himself tied to storylines that minimize or take shots at Shedeur Sanders, whether it's intentional or not. And now, by calling Shedeur an entertainer instead of a true competitor, Gabriel has once again inserted himself right into the heart of the controversy. Sharp's stance was crystal clear. You can't throw out remarks like that and then shy away from the fallout. If you're bold enough to say it, you need to be bold enough to face the heat. He reminded everyone of how Oregon's coach addressed Colorado with those same dismissive undertones, showing exactly how these comments can spark firestorms that don't fade easily.
Right? They're fighting for clicks, we're fighting for wins. There's a difference, right? There's a difference. right? This game ain't gonna be played in Hollywood, it's gonna be played on the grass, right? It's gonna be played on the grass.
Chad Ocho Cinco Johnson, however, approached the situation with a bit more leniency. He didn't go as far as to excuse Dillon Gabriel's wording, but he did question whether people might be blowing it out of proportion. In Ocho's eyes, it's hard to believe that a rookie quarterback, fresh out of college and still trying to find his footing in the NFL, would intentionally take a shot at a fellow player or risk causing rifts inside the locker room. From his perspective, it wouldn't make much sense for someone in Gabriel's position, fighting to earn respect and build trust, to purposely create unnecessary drama with his own teammates.
Do him like that. I'm gonna give Dillon Gabriel a little grace, a little understanding, because I don't think a college kid coming in as a rookie in the NFL would take that kind of shot at a teammate that he's competing with for a job. I just don't see. I don't see it. I see it as.
When it was all said and done, though, the contrast on the field told the real story. Shedeur Sanders' debut was everything fans hoped for. Calm, confident, and commanding right from the opening snap. He delivered under pressure, made clutch throws, and backed up every ounce of the hype surrounding him. On the flip side, Dillon Gabriel faltered in his performance. Despite having the benefit of working with a solid first-team defense, he failed to generate rhythm, couldn't punch into the end zone, and left little to convince anyone he was ready to seize the spotlight. No touchdowns, no standout completions, just mistakes that overshadowed his chances. What puzzled many, however, was how Gabriel handled it afterward. Rather than owning up to the struggles or showing humility, he chose to deflect, taking a swipe at Shedeur by labeling him nothing more than an entertainer.
When the rookies was there, he was not better at minicamp or training camp. When the veterans was there, he did not perform better than him during the game he was in.
Dillon Gabriel's situation had gotten so shaky that even Kevin Stefanski couldn't sidestep it when speaking to the media ahead of the game. Though he opened by emphasizing that the Browns were in a solid position overall, it wasn't long before he was forced to confront the obvious: Gabriel's ongoing struggles. Stefanski pointed directly to two critical turnovers, both stemming from Gabriel's own decisions, as the moments that completely derailed the flow of the contest. He admitted those errors didn't just halt drives, they swung momentum to the other side in a way the Browns couldn't bounce back from. For a coach who rarely singles out players publicly, it was a striking moment of candor, underscoring just how serious Gabriel's slump had become.
Two giveaways really were the difference there in that first half, because I thought we were doing some really good things, but then we got that takeaway, had a takeaway negated by an offside. So
even with Dillon Gabriel stumbling at quarterback, the Browns still managed to walk away with the win, thanks almost entirely to their defense. The turning point came midway through the third quarter, when KJ Henry perfectly anticipated the play, jumped the passing lane, and returned an interception 45 yards for a touchdown. That single moment flipped the momentum, breathing life back into Cleveland and paving the way for a 22-13 preseason victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a clear reminder that, as much as quarterbacks dominate the spotlight, football is built on all three phases of the game. When the offense sputters, the defense has to rise up, and in this case, the Browns' defense did exactly that, covering up Gabriel's rough outing and making sure the win stayed intact.
And wow, that is a gift of an interception.
At the end of the day, the story of this game wasn't about Dillon Gabriel proving himself. It was about how much the Browns had to lean on their defense to get the job done. Gabriel's performance raised more questions than answers, with turnovers and missed opportunities overshadowing any positives he might have shown. Kevin Stefanski's unusually blunt post-game remarks only added weight to the concerns, highlighting just how costly those mistakes were. Yet, even in the face of those struggles, the team found a way to prevail, and that speaks volumes about the resilience and balance Cleveland has built. KJ Henry's interception return became the defining play of the night, shifting momentum in a way the offense couldn't, and proving once again that football is never about one man. For the Browns, it's a reassuring sign that even when their quarterback falters, the rest of the roster can step up and carry the load. But at the same time, it leaves Gabriel at a crossroads. Can he rebound from this shaky outing and prove he belongs? Or will moments like these continue to define him? One thing's for certain, the spotlight on his next performance just got a whole lot brighter. Ultimately, Gabriel's words set a standard he has yet to meet. If he wants to be viewed as the competitor he claims to be, the proof will have to come on the field, not in press conferences. Until then, Shedeur Sanders holds the edge, both in performance and in perception. What do you think about Dillon Gabriel's performance and the way the Browns had to rely on their defense to pull out the win? Do you see this as just a preseason hiccup that Gabriel can bounce back from? Or is it an early sign that he might not be ready to lead this team when it counts? Was Kevin Stefanski right to call him out so directly? Or should he have kept things in-house? And most importantly, do you think the Browns can afford to keep trusting Gabriel under center if these struggles continue? Share your thoughts in the comments.